Waste Water Sports, ahoy!
Ahoy, Dan.
How are we doing? Dan and the Old Panther at you again. Throwing away some gift memberships to start the night. Generosity is the theme. 5 memberships going once, twice, 3, 4 times. Welcome along, everybody. For those of you who are relatively new to the channel, I'd like to reintroduce you, or introduce you for the first time, as it were, to the Old Panther, my dad, my co-host for these Generations podcasts that we do as something a little bit extra. Gamer Mel, ahoy there. Sorry, I probably should give you a chance to say hello after I go and introduce you.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the stream. Hopefully we've got some good information for you tonight.
Hopefully, indeed. Gamer Mel, ahoy. Connor Crowley, ahoy there. Adam, ahoy. Person 1, ahoy. Jimmy Lister, ahoy there, mate. Vobsy, ahoy. Will and UFC Only Fams in there a little bit earlier. I do apologise for the late start. A couple of shenanigans with the cameras, but we seem to be all right now. Well, I mean, it's not perfect, but we got it sorted out to some degree, at least. So, what we are going to be talking about tonight, before we jump into the chat room questions, this episode of Generations is going to be all about merchandising. Now, there's a reason why I came up with this theme for the night, and that all had to do around, I wanted, just for a laugh, just for a complete and total shiz and giggles, shall we say, the polite way of saying it, just wanted to get a Warriors jersey for that game against the Broncos. That was the only reason I wanted it. Warriors jersey, just for that Broncos-Warriors preliminary final. Ahoy there, Mel. How are you going? I'm still getting used to there being 2 Mels. A gamer and just a Gamer Mel and Warrior Mel. We're going to call you Warrior Mel. So, I went out and had a look at Rebel Sport. Probably not a good place to look anyway, if you're looking for something cost-effective. But I was completely just blown away by the fact that jerseys were $169. $169. Now, I don't even care how funny I find the gag. I'm not paying $169 for just to wear it on one stream, and that was it. So I would have to be a diehard Warrior supporter if I'm going to be buying that. And even then, I'd probably still be having my thoughts, because there are just so many different types of jerseys these days. You've got your Indigenous round, you've got your Women in League round, all these things. You've got your training gear. Vobsy says authentic NRL jerseys cost more than a week's worth of shopping. Same here. I spend about $150 a week on shopping. The jersey, definitely more expensive. So I was a bit blown away by that, as I was saying. That's a lot of money. And it just got me thinking about other types of merchandise, because I thought, well, maybe I don't need to don the actual jersey. I could just get a flag, maybe, or a scarf. And it got me thinking about all these other types of things that used to be available that you don't really see anymore. Obviously, a lot of that comes down to the times have changed, technology's changed, that sort of thing. But I would like to do an entire episode where we just reflect on some of that stuff. And we have had the opportunity to dig through our collective archives, and I think we've got some stuff. Not only is it going to blow you guys away, but I think it would be a collector's wet dream, some of this stuff that we've got.
Can I tell you something about my first jumper, my first jersey?
You certainly can.
Around about 1970, my first jersey with a number on the back, number 3 for Graham Moran from Penrith, and the Penrith emblem on the front, cost me $19.
Well, there you go.
And there was no sponsorship back in those days, so you weren't getting advertising all over your jumper like you do now.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a big change, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
I don't think they can really justify $150, $160.
No, well, I'm glad that you brought up first jerseys, because I do have, and because I was fiddling about with the cameras, I didn't get a chance to actually set this up so that it's nice and convenient, but we are going to try and find it here in the Generations folder. So I've actually tracked down a photo. I do have the actual thing somewhere, funnily enough, but I didn't get around to locating it, unless Mum's still got it packed away somewhere. But I actually have dug up a picture of my first jersey. Oh my goodness, that's extremely large over the camera and everywhere. But anyways, there's little me. There's little me and my first ever footy jersey, which I'm going out on a limb and suggesting that you probably bought for me.
Brisbane West Tigers.
Panthers.
Panthers.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah. Jeez, of all the things to get...
Seniors moment.
Of all the things to get wrong,
Yeah.
you get the name of a Panthers team.
Yeah.
And there is a more recent photo of me
And it
holding... It almost
fits,
still
doesn't it?
fits.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it almost fits over my breasts.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm very glad that you brought up first jerseys, because it was an opportunity to show that photo. But we've got a lot more than just photos going on here tonight. We've got all different types of merchandise that we have owned or collected over the years, and we can run through the archives. But I think before that, it seems fitting that we probably should, as UFC has politely asked at the top there, predictions for the grand final coming up. For some reason, he wants specific scores. I'm never very good with specific scores. As Mel says, in New Zealand, NRL jerseys are between $129 to $180. Yes, you know what? It makes me feel very good about Wasted World of Sports merchandise, and the shirts only starting from around $27 or thereabouts. But of course, I don't have anywhere near the cachet of said NRL. So very, very quickly, because this is not a grand final preview show, I'll actually be doing one of those, a specific grand final preview stream, so I'll just quickly rattle through. I think Panthers win quite comfortably. Somebody agrees with me.
Oh,
Yeah. Somebody out there agrees with me. I think the Panthers win quite comfortably, whether or not it's a tough battle for 60 minutes or so, and then they run away with it. I don't think so. I think it's going to be very reminiscent of last year's grand final against the Eels. Apologies, Eels supporters, but the Panthers just dominated and ran away with that one, and save for a couple of late tries, I think it's going to be over by half time. I've got a same game multi. I've gone Panthers 13 plus. Anytime try scorer Stephen Crichton, because Reece Walsh is going to throw up a couple of gifts, I reckon. Stephen Crichton has a tendency to be good in the air with intercepts. He did one during the Origin as well, where he actually left the ground and intercepted as well. I think he'll bag a couple of intercepts at least off Reece Walsh. One of them will surely lead to a try. And the Broncos, of course, are extremely suspect down that left edge of Selwyn Cobbo and Katoni Staggs. And that's the side, the right-hand attacking side of the Panthers, looping around the back with Edwards and To'o. I think they'll have an absolute field day out there, with Staggs' uncertainty in defence and Cobbo's laziness in defence. So I've got Stephen Crichton, anytime try scorer, Brian To'o, 2+ tries. And Nathan Cleary to score 8 points. So Panthers win quite handsomely. Let's say 32 points to 8.
Well, I hope you're right.
I was right last year.
As a Penrith supporter, I hope Penrith flog them. But my gut feeling is that it's going to be a tight game, and I'm picking Penrith by about 7.
Yeah, but I'm a neutral. You're a Panthers supporter, so
Yeah.
I'm able to look at it a lot more realistically.
Yes, I'm allowed to be nervous.
Without the nerves, yes, that's exactly right. So there you go, UFC. Even though I don't think you were actually there to hear that, but there you go. Vopsy says his first jersey was a Souths jersey. I'm so disappointed, Vopsy. You asked your dad for a Sydney jersey because I was young and I ended up opening a Rabbits jersey on Christmas Day. Worst Christmas of all time. So let's jump on over to our screen that I've got set up here. There we go. It's nice and large because we're going to be displaying some... Hey, it wasn't my Faulty. I was trying to watch Faulty Towers today. You know that show's extremely difficult to find now that people have had their little hissy fits about John Cleese. But anyway, so that's neither here nor there. So we're going to be showing some things on the screen. We dug through the archives, and I thought that this was probably a good starting point. Since we're talking about jerseys and everything, for those of you who join the streams quite regularly, you've seen this already, but I've got a couple of jerseys back here. Both easy access. But I like to keep these hanging around. If you can grab that one there. So these are pride and joy of my collection. I've got a New South Wales Rugby League Tooheys Blues State of Origin jersey signed on the sleeve by Jamie Ainscough. Jamie Ainscough just happened to be sitting there as I was wandering past and got him to sign the sleeve. And my retro NRL, New South Wales Rugby League, Cronulla Sharks Reebok jersey, which would have been from the mid to late, early to mid 90s. That one would have been. So that was my jerseys there that I've got within easy access. Are you looking for Jamie Ainscough? There it is. So yes, I've showed these off quite regularly on the streams in the past. So that's just for the newbies that maybe haven't seen that yet. But there's a lot more exciting stuff than just jerseys. That's the common thing, a supporter's jersey. We've actually dug through and found some really cool things. Starting off now, I haven't seen these in a very, very long time. Well, I don't know when these are from exactly, but let's see. I'm going to set these...
91 jumper.
I'm just going to set these guys up and see if I can't break the entire stream by switching the camera over. And we'll get a close-up of these little fellas. There we are.
That's the 91 Penrith jersey.
Yep.
Yep.
And so I'd be gathering that my Sharks one would have been around the same sort of era. I mean, check out the size. There's my finger. But yeah, these were cool, just little rubber molds of the team mascots in their jerseys. Quite awesome. And you just don't see things like this anymore, I don't think. Anyway, I haven't seen anything quite like this. You used to go into like those little tobacco stores and places like that, or a Granny Mae's type of store, and they'd have all sorts of different... You could get... I remember I had a pen, and it had the Cronulla Sharks logo as a badge on the top of the pen, and it was one of those click ones, and there was a little footy inside that rattled around whenever you clicked the pen. Yeah, just all cool little stuff like that you can't get anymore. So there we go. I seem to have successfully switched the camera over once. I don't know how many times I'm going to be able to do it before it just breaks everything. But yeah, so these are really cool. I've made sure that I kept good care of my Sharks one, and you've brought this one around to the studio tonight to share with us. So thank you for that. You've obviously taken good care of that one as well. So I'd love to see stuff like this make a return.
You've got to look after them.
That's right.
I made a terrible mistake when I was young. I had some fantastic stickers. Used to be able to buy stickers.
Yep.
And I got it in my head one day to put the stickers on my dad's car, and then he went and sold the car.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I've learnt
and
to
now,
keep things.
Yes, and now those stickers are worth probably more than the car.
Probably.
Now, oops, I just dropped everything. Now these, speaking of Catch you later, Gamer Mel. Now these might be very good for the... I'll see if I can dig out both teams, but I was speaking about badges. Oopsie. I was talking about badges on the top of the pens. Well, these aren't from the top of pens. These are actual little pins. And they're so tiny, they're not even worth me holding up to the camera. But I am going to try and get a little display going as best I can over here. And I'll show you momentarily what it is that we're looking at here. Oh, wow. Gold Coast Seagulls.
Wow.
Now, I believe, if memory serves me correctly, these you used to get out of those little gumball machines. You know, the eggs?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You'd, I've got 2 of those. There you go. Yeah, so these used to be in those little $1 or $2 machines. You'd put the coin in, you'd twist it, and the little egg would pop out, and you'd open up the egg.
Yep.
And these badges were inside.
Do you remember the cards you used to get from Woolies?
Do I remember the cards I used to get from Woolies? No, not from Woolies exactly, but I definitely remember my collector's cards. That's what I dropped over the back here earlier. You might have heard it. You might have heard it tumbling down. I'm just over here. Oh, God. Yeah, I'm just over here trying to collect it. Yeah, so these were not from Woolies, but I do have... Oh, there's Paul Sirenen. There's somebody recognisable. Put that up the back there. But I do have certain collector's cards. I've got a Jason Taylor from his Western Suburbs.
You see the news on him that come out today.
No?
Going to be assistant coach at the Bulldogs.
Oh, is that right? There you go. John Schuster. That's a familiar name. Now, this one's really old. Terry Madison.
One of the original Broncos.
Look at that. It's even got a crease. I obviously didn't care for it because it was Broncos. Mel says, wow, didn't have any of this sort of stuff here. A Newcastle Knights logo card. Looks like it's been through the wars as well. Oh, here we go. Now, this is actually from my jersey. This would have been the year I'll be able to... The Reebok sponsor, Sharks jersey. Mitch Healy there. Fabulous player. Teaming up in the halves with Paul Green for the Sharks that year. Or that bunch of years. Rod Wishart. Old Illawarra Steelers card.
Now his son's playing.
Now his son is playing. It's crazy. Daryl Halligan. We were just talking about it before. There are some Suns running out in the grand final. Oh, there we go. That's a good one to finish on.
Yeah.
Tuvs.
There should be an investigation.
Beat me to it.
Did I?
Yeah.
Great minds.
The old Tuvs. Look at how young he looks there. So this was, Series 1, 1995. That one. And you would have statistics and bio and everything like that on the back. But yeah, these... You used to buy them, so not from Woolies, Vobsy, these ones, but you used to buy them from the newsagents.
Yep.
And they would come in packs.
Yep. And back when I was a youngster, they had them in packs of bubble gum.
Yes, you would get the strip of bubble gum on the top of the early ones of these, but they stopped doing that.
And you were talking about father and son grand finals. The 2003 grand final that Penrith won. Johnny Lang coached his son Martin Lang, And last year, for the first time ever, there were the father and sons actually opposed each other in the grand final. Last year was Ivan and Nathan in Penrith up against Brad Arthur and Jacob Arthur in Parramatta. And that was the first time it ever happened.
Mm.
And now it's happened again.
Immediately again.
The Kevy Walters and Billy Walters.
Yes.
In this year's grand final. Amazing, isn't it?
What a shame for them. It's going to end so badly.
One would hope.
So these I thought were pretty cool. These don't happen anymore. I'll hold it up to the camera, but I will put it into the little green screen box. So this is Winfield Cup 1994, and it is just a little... The insert seems to be gone. There was some form of little insert in here that now seems to have fallen out and disappeared, but it was essentially the draw, and it would come in this little fold out business card sized thing. I don't even know where these came from. Like where
do you think the internet has done a lot to eliminate this sort of thing?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Like you don't need that anymore because you just get the app on your phone, and bring up the drawer, and you've got websites. Like 94, websites weren't, the internet wasn't really a thing. So yeah, you had to have little things like that you could slip into your wallet, and off you would go. You would have all your information at your fingertips. But yes, of course, the internet has come along, and technology in general, and there's just no need for that sort of stuff anymore. And something that I did specifically want to talk about, which has been killed off by technology, and you've been to a game more recently than I have, but I don't believe that they exist anymore. They certainly haven't in the Super Rugby. The game day booklet.
Yeah, they don't do them.
They don't do them anymore because you don't need them. You just jump. That's what we were talking about. You just jump online, and that's where you get all your information from. But we have over here. We dug through the boxes downstairs, and so this is what we were talking about. This sort of stuff. The game day guide. So this is for the local Queensland the Queensland Cup, the Rugby League news. $1. So you would go to the game, and at the gate you'd say, "I'll have a program, thanks." And inside, some news and updates. But most importantly, you would get your team sheets. So when you were at the game, you knew who was playing, and you could keep stats and everything on there as well from the. And it looks like we've done something in the back here. We've updated the table. We've put some scores in there. And yeah, you could just run down the team sheets and jot down any sort of information that you wanted to. Or you could collect autographs. That's what I quite often used them for. Running around, getting the players to sign next to their name on the team sheet. But they go back even further than that. Now, that's a little booklet. We found this one down there as well. Penrith District Rugby League Football Club pre-season trial 1988. Penrith versus Parramatta. So this one wasn't even a booklet. It's literally a printed out, photocopied sheet of paper that folds out, and you've got the game day information on there. Under 21s, that started at 3 p.m. The first grade, it looks like you've kept some stats here. Let's see who won that one.
Yeah.
Well, I'm guessing you, because I'll see. Here we go. I'll put this just quickly onto the... I'll try and get some degree of close-up on this, just so you can see what these little guides used to look like. So you would run down there and you'd have your team sheets, first grade. But yes, my memory is of the booklet form, but this one clearly predates the booklet form. But let's have a look. What have you said here? Let's see what's been written on the main game, the first grade game. So it looks like Penrith won 21 points to 14 that day.
A good day.
And you've written down, or somebody's written down here, Parramatta had 10 changes. This game, I'm struggling to see here. 10 changes. This game, we didn't have any.
That looks like your nana's writing.
Yeah. Dad paid people something until football. Of course, he doesn't. I'm not quite sure what that... You might have a better idea of understanding what that says.
You want some interesting names out of this?
Yeah. Who have we got here? The Queensland...
Out of this Queensland...
The Queensland Rugby
guide.
League News.
Yeah. We found Brisbane East's
Yes.
Paul Green.
Paul Green
halfback.
was... Wow.
Later went on to play for...
Well, he played for the Sharks.
Yeah, and then Logan City.
The Scorpions.
The Scorpions, the good old Scorpions. The 5'8" was Paul Fisher, who later
All
went on
right.
to play for
Sharks.
the Sharks. Yeah, there you go.
What year was that one from, did it say?
93.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Speaking of how technology has changed things, I thought this was cool. What have you found there? I just had a giggle at the...
I wasn't at this game.
Oh, right. Speaking of the way technology has changed things. Now, this is obviously something of yours as well. Official Panthers merchandise.
Yes.
But what it is just it's a flyer. This is a literal flyer of all the different types of supporters gear that you can purchase. Golf shirts.
You used to be able to pick that sort of thing up at the club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that they obviously had some sort of mailing list, or you could just pick it up,
Pick it
and
up, yeah.
and this is how you place your... There's probably even an order form on here somewhere, I bet. Or, yeah, there we go, an order form. So you would fill out your details here, and the item number of what you want it to buy, and that's how you made your purchases of... Now that is something that's definitely been killed off by technology, because now we just jump online, go to the website, and make a purchase. Somebody brought up stickers. Oh, it was you, wasn't it? Not quite these types of stickers, but I remember I always used to enjoy collecting these when I was little. So this is the 1992 Rugby League sticker book. And one of the most important things I want to point out is, look at that, $1.75 this cost. And there's Alfie Langer on the back. Freddie Fittler's on the front, it looks like. There. And what you would do is, similar to your collector's cards, you would purchase packs of the stickers. And you would just go through and, okay, who have I got here? Let's try and oh, well, there we go. Here's the Penrith Panthers page. So every team had a page, and you would try and collect all the players. So there we've got, we've got Ben Alexander there, up the top. We've got Mark Geyer. And yeah, you would just undo your packs of stickers, and you would go through, match them up to the spot in the booklet, pop, stick it over there, and off you went. And it looks like I've got a very, very complete and full book here. Back when Fittler was likable, now he just ruins my Origin experiences, says Vobsy. I'm trying to find the Sharks. There's Big Mal. Cronulla, Sutherland. There we go. So, it looks like I've got a Roosters player in there. Oh, and a Raiders player. Looks like a Raiders player came across at some stage as well. So, but that was the thing with these sorts of things, is sometimes if transfers happened mid-season, you were kind of stuffed. I think that's why they had the extra. There was always one extra box over there. You could, and they didn't always have updated photos. So David Trawella has obviously come across from the Roosters, and he's gone into the Sharks book still wearing a Roosters jersey. So this was pretty cool, what we found down there. We're still on books at the moment, of course, by the way. We're still on books. I just dropped something. So there's your members-only calendar.
Not much football there.
Mel says I was 21 in 92. Good old sticker books. Love it. So, yeah, here is a Panthers 1992 wall calendar. I reckon we actually could have hunted down some actual footy wall calendars had I thought of it. I definitely had a few. But yeah, this is not a lot of football-related stuff in there for the members. That's just at the club. Now, what fell before was... this book is also green, so it'll be interesting to see how this comes out on the little green screen here. But this is interesting. This fell a guide to the international laws of rugby league.
That was when I sort of knew what I was talking about.
Let's see what you.
How the rules go now.
Yeah, well, you'd fit in perfectly in the circle of referees then. They could do with something like this these days. I'm trying to find a year on it. First edition, 1985. Hang on, and now what's it say here? Important. This is... I'm trying to get it focused. Not a law book. It is intended merely to convey a general knowledge of the main aspects of the game's laws. But it's not a law book. It's called a guide to the international laws, but it's not a law book. Just so you know. The kickoff and the dropout. So yeah, just a whole lot of spics and specs in there. And yeah, I think something like this certainly wouldn't go astray these days, especially not as relates to forward pass rules. That's for certain. I can think of quite a few referees that would need something like that. Now, we showed the... What's this one I've got here? I think this is a Rugby League week. Yeah. So, we showed the game day programs for the Queensland Cup, but they also came out for the actual New South Wales Rugby League as well, the big league. Now, we have got boxes and boxes and boxes of this. Vobsy says Latrell Mitchell and Cody Walker should read that to each other. And a very similar thing, it was you would get this, so $2.50, and this is the 3rd to the 9th of June, 1992. This one's from, it's got very young Mark Geyer on the cover, and a very same as the Queensland Cup one. Just a bunch of information, some news updates, but your important stuff here was your actual guide to the players and to the match day, whichever one you're attending. So I've just randomly opened up to Canterbury Bankstown versus Brisbane, and surprisingly it wasn't at Lang Park. This one was at Belmore. Interesting how times have changed. But yeah, they're pretty stacked Broncos team there. Kevy Walters and Alan Langer, they're in the halves. Trevor Gilmeister. So that was pretty cool. It's a very similar thing. You would go to to the gate, go through the gate with your ticket. You'd ask for a guide, or you would pick it up from the merchandise stand. So we've got a few different ones. This one's got Laurie Daly on the cover. Speaking of people who've given miserable Origin memories, Vopsy, Loza. Only when he was coaching, he was all right when he played. It's gone up to $3 now in 1996. It's gone up from $2.50. The big league is now $3. And, yeah, nothing's really changed in it. Some colour. There's some colour pages. But in the back, you got the Gold Coast Chargers there. Gold Coast Chargers versus Sydney City. Look at that, Vopsy. The Sydney City Roosters. I don't know if you could see that. But Sydney City, Ivan Cleary, coach Phil Gould. Ivan Cleary was the fullback. That's pretty cool. Matt Singh, what a player. Adrian Lamb and Andrew Walker in the halves. That's a good halves combination. Brad Fittler, Tony Iro, Luke Ricketson. There's some names there, Vopsy. Some names there. Now, those were your programs, your game day programs, but you could also get your big... Now, these are available at the newsagents.
Yeah, big rugby league week. When I first started buying them, they were just like a newspaper. They weren't glossy like this.
Yeah.
Used to cost me 40 cents. Every week, 40 cents.
This one's $2.95. But, yeah, it is essentially a newspaper. That's exactly what it is. It's all your news. Absolutely no need for this anymore because you just go on the websites. Vopsy says, I know this is off topic, but thoughts on Greg Alexander stepping down from his Origin role? It had to happen. Blues strike Gould. The opening minutes of the first State of Origin contest last Wednesday night told us plenty about the future. Mal Meninga's days in the centres are numbered, and Phil Gould will be the next Test coach, with the most obvious signs to emerge from the Bash and Barge opening clash. There you go. I just made it relevant, Vopsy. See what I did? That just happened to be in there at the page that I opened up. It had to happen, Vopsy, didn't it? Realistically. And here's a couple more. This one's got Greg Alexander on the cover of the big league. It kind of had to happen. Something had to change. Basically, the definition of insanity is...
Keep doing the same thing and expect the same results. Doesn't happen.
So...
well, because I was just about to say that same thing.
Yeah. So it needed some sort of change, basically. What that change is exactly, I guess time will tell.
And he wouldn't need the money.
No. Oh, no. Definitely not.
He's just come back from a European holiday.
Yeah, and he's still got his job on Channel 9 or Fox Sports, wherever he is.
And he's on the board at Penrith.
Yeah, so he'll be plenty busy enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's more to do with just needing to change something.
Something, yeah. I mean, I would have started with Freddie myself, but...
What do you replace him with?
Anyone. Tuvey. I'm the one who suggested Tuvs.
Okay, yeah.
Just bring a little mongrel back. Freddie's too nice a guy. Bring some mongrel back into the Origin arena. But yeah, Tuvs was my choice. All right, I'm going to set these little guys up.
I didn't know who some of these were.
Yeah, did we figure out? I think we looked it up and kind of narrowed down a little bit of where these would have been from, didn't we? I can't remember. But these, really cool. These were little Australian kangaroos collector's pieces. Once again, these are just little rubber molded caricatures of the players. We've got Laurie Daly there. I'm pretty sure they've got the numbers on the back. So the numbers on the back are usually the giveaway. So we got Laurie Daly, Paul Harrigan. This is one that you didn't know, but I'm suggesting that this was Willie Kahn. just because number 5 on the back, and I'm pretty sure Willie Kahn did play for Australia for a period of time. You've got Alfie Langer there. Alfie Langer, you can tell, number 7. And Benny Elias is probably the most recognisable one out of the bunch.
Well, he played for Australia between 86 and 90. I think if that bit of information is correct.
So I think these guys were from that 90-91 series. And they weren't the only little, like, action figure. Well, not really action figures. They don't have an action, but Benny has such a round head. I think honestly, Benny Elias is probably the most recognizable one out of the lot. Oh, yeah, I think so. I mean, they've captured Laurie Daly's nose very well. Actually, Chief looks pretty good, doesn't he?
Yep.
Paul Harrigan's very recognizable there. Willie Kahn's got the long face. Alfie just needs a beer in that hand, and that's all good. But yeah, these were a promotional. These were a promotional thing from the Courier Mail, I think. So this is the Kevy Walters. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, this is the little Kevy Walters. Now these were slightly posable. The arms moved. I don't want to break anything. But yeah, these were collectibles in the newspaper. I'm pretty sure the old Powers Broncos. I couldn't tell you who this is. Number 4. Who were some old Broncos centers?
Yeah, it's early on. If it's Powers, it'd be in the first couple of years, wouldn't it? That jumper. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so those are all pretty cool. Blake Lyons, ahoy there, mate. Right, now, before we go, before we head off, the main event of collectibles. Now, I don't really know how I'm going to show this one off effectively because there's not enough space in the green screen box, and it's probably going to be very awkward. We're going to have to split it, I think. We can hold certain bits and pieces up, and other bits and pieces we can load on into the green screen, because just sticking with the overall theme of how technology has changed all sorts of collectibles and merchandise, this is the ultimate thing that's been changed with technology.
UFC's asked for predictions again.
We did it at the start,
Yeah,
UFC.
Yeah, well, I reckon Penrith by 7.
And I said Penrith 32 points to 8. Penrith 13 plus. Nathan Cleary to score 8+ points. Stephen Crichton, anytime try scorer, and Brian To'o 2+ tries. Because the Panthers will absolutely annihilate the Broncos down their suspect left edge of defense. So, here we go. This is what it used to be all about before video games. Board games. And this one was the easiest one for me to yank out of the spare room cupboard. The Rugby League State of Origin football game. Now, honestly, kids these days will not appreciate board games and just how much fun they were, because it's all about video games these days. And look, video games are fun as well. But look, you can see that this has had quite a bit of use when I bring it out here. And yes, I'll do my best to show this off as best as possible. But this was the board. This was the playing board. Folded out into a footy field. As you can see, as I said, it's had a lot of use over the years. I'll pop that back. And we've got to show you. I won't get them all out because there's just far too many of them. There's far too many of them, but here were your playing pieces. Your Queensland players. and your New South Wales players. And it's very difficult to see, but they've all got numbers on them. So there's the number 3. So that's one of your centres. And they would all line up across the board. And you would have your dice. You roll your dice, and you've got all sorts of things that can happen. There were general play cards. So if you went through a general play, attacking team, if you're passing the ball, pass to the hooker. If running, run 12 meters. The defensive team runs 10 meters. So it was almost like a game of chess in a way. There were scrum cards. So what's the result of a scrum? You have won the scrum. You've won the scrum. The halfback has the ball. Yeah, so you would roll dice, and with a combination of the cards that you get dealt, that is how the actual game would play out. So, does anyone have any favourites from that? I reckon, honestly, my favourites are the little caricature figures. I reckon that's my favourites for the collectibles evening. The little Aussie caricature footy players. All the mascot ones. The mascot ones are cool as well. Where's your panther gone? Yeah. Those were pretty cool. And we went through all the guides and brochures and flyers and whatnot, and we've seen just how much merchandise has changed over the years. We dug through our archives. We found some of the more cool stuff that we could find in the time available to fill out a generations on merchandising. So yes, we hope you enjoyed that little trip down memory lane. I feel like that one was more for us though.
Yeah.
That was more for us tonight.
A few memories there.
Hey, UFC, you also missed out on Little Dan and his first ever footy jersey. Where did I put that one up? That was on the main screen, wasn't it? There he is. Such a young fellow with so many prospects. Okay, Wasted World of Sports, thank you so much for joining us for another edition of Generations with Dan and the Old Panther. Yeah, we hope you enjoyed that little trip down memory lane, and it's a shame that technology has taken away so many of these things that there just wouldn't be the market for anymore, or no value to be brought. Very unfortunate. For me, I will catch you guys. We're going to have... I'm trying to plan like an NRL recap. An end of season sort of reflection. And I'll probably do that on Saturday because there's no games this week. It's going to be for members only initially. I will make it available for everybody, but I need to start doing some stuff to say thank you for the channel members. So... but I'll see. I'll see what we come up with. Otherwise, we'll catch you guys for the grand final. Well, actually, I'll have some games of rugby up. Rugby World Cup games will be coming up. All I can say, I suppose, is keep your eye on the channel, and I'll be making announcements for what's coming up over the course of the weekend. But definitely for the Old Panther, the grand final will be the next one on Sunday. Yep. Panthers.
History in the making,
Either way. So, yeah, we're looking forward to that one. And, did I see correctly? It's a public holiday on Monday?
It is here, yeah.
Yes! That's what you want after a grand final night.
Doesn't worry me.
Well, yeah, true.
I'm like Jerome Luai. You've all got to go to work.
No, that's good. That's a good day for a day off. All right, my friends, thank you so much for joining us. From myself and the Old Panther, another Generations down, another walk down memory lane. And give us some topics because I think we're running out.
Not really.
No?
No, we've still got Tina Turner.
Do we want to do a whole episode on Tina Turner? Well, you could probably get a full episode out of all the different theme songs. Yeah. Anyway, we're open to suggestions anyway for more topics. Anyway, thank you so much once again. Catch you guys next time. And yes, Old Panther, his next appearance will very likely be the grand final.
That's provided Ivan doesn't call me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. You don't get the call up.
Yeah. Good night, everyone.
Catch you guys. Cheers.